And the Fire Wizard, you must now withstand the fury of my flames.
Cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha. Hey YouTube, this is Firewizard23, and welcome back to Let's Play Lost Kingdoms! In the last episode, we did successfully clear out the burned field, and we're heading to Castle White, but first we should turn in our red fairies to Alexander, as is the custom. This is one sticking point of this game that I don't like. I like the idea of collecting the fairies and stuff. Why couldn't Alexander just be at Gurd's place? I don't know. It seems unnecessary to have a totally separate location for Alexander, because he's so not an important character in this game in any way. Let's head back to Gurd, because it's time for more side questing! Following the common custom of RPGs, I bet Gurd probably has something else she knows about. Okay. Some medicine that we can find in Rohbach. We need mandragora, fruit of the mandragora, bark of a treant, and a mantrap leaf, I think it was. So we'll head to Rohbach. Let's see if there's anything. Oh, we used all our experience before to make copies and cards and stuff, so we really can't do anything right now. So forget that. And I do check here to see if there's anything we can buy. Nothing, though I probably should have bought a cockatrice. But off we go. Off to Rohbach. The snow region of Rohbach. And I remembered to check the elements. Water and earth. Let's set up our deck. But it doesn't really... There's a couple levels in the game that are specific elemental areas that may play an important factor in the final narrative. I'm not going to say. But I am going to check to see if I can do something here. I do want to use the Juggernaut. I'm going to go ahead and ditch my... What do I ditch here? Oh, the Chimera. The Chimera is really kind of ridiculously overpowered for this. This actually is not a very difficult area, if not slightly annoying. I think that's the only major change I'm going to make. Wish I had another cockatrice, and I don't. So, I say let's head off to Rohbach. Let's do it! It is a rough day. Woo, it's cold! Ugh. Stupid RPG requirement of having a snow area. Ugh. Make sure to check all these little carts here, because you might find some cards or fairies or something. Oh, and here's a red fairy. We should look in the big trees for fairies, but monsters like to hang out there, so be careful. Here's our first one. A land shark and a flying ray. Use my skeleton and my whipworm, which I actually really like the whipworm, despite the fact that it does not have a lot of power. It dies so quickly. It is downright abusive in the second game, though. Oh boy, you ain't seen nothing yet. Downright abusive. And I actually got it back there picking up the blue fairy. Sweet. Actually, a lot of the cards, there's a lot of broken strategies in the second game because of how it sets how the game is set up in kind of like a free roaming world rather than this kind of set level. You fight a battle in a battle scene. That game does it totally free roaming, and oh boy, some strategies are abusive. Okay, we're approaching our first big tree, and it's time for boss time! Against, I want to say, Yeti? Against the Yeti! Let's fight him. My whipworm here, because you can do a lot of damage with this guy. A little damage, but you can get a lot of stones out of it. And my whipworm dies. Ow! I hit him with my Dragonoids. Die! Grab some stones. Sasquatch! I'm sorry, Sasquatch is what he is. For boss time against the Sasquatch! Make sure to check these trees, because in here we can get one of the items we need. The fruit of the mandragora! Excellent. Let's head on. Make sure to check this cart right here, because we'll find a secret fairy. Huh. So only the old woman would know what happens when someone collects all the rune stones. Interesting. I'm trying to catch this blue fairy here, but it's pretty much futile. Come on, get him! No! No! It's a pretty small region, too, but there's a lot of battles, so be careful. Another flying ray and another land shark. I send up my own land shark. Ah! I swung out there with a ghoul card, but it wasn't really that useful. Experience? Awesome. Oh, but there's a chest over here, and there's another area over there on the ice, but I'm going to avoid that for now. Let's check the chest. And we find this card, a Flying Ray card. Of course, the fairy's right there, and I miss him. Oh, no, I got him. We got a card back. Now, jump down here. It's kind of a side diversion area, but there is something, a couple important things we can do in this spot. Like get this card, a Hobgoblin. The weakest, he is probably the weakest independent monster, save the Golden Goose. The weakest independent monster that can actually do something. Let's head up this little narrow area here. Fiddle with the camera. There we go. Alright. This way. I don't know why. Oh, I was looking to see if that was another part. That's, I think, where we started, that area up there. Okay, oh. And here we're going to fight Crystal Roses. They attack quickly, just dodge out of the way and use a Weapon Monster card. Dragonoid will take them out in one shot. I should also make a note, because this is probably something people have been thinking about. Your cards do not actually get stronger as you gain more runestones. The cards always have the same attack power. For example, if I'm using a Dragonoid card in, say, like the very first time I ever got them, and then I use them like towards the end of the game, it still has the same power. It is still a Dragonoid card. No difference. The stars kind of indicate how strong the monster actually is. And here we fight an Ice Golem after using our magic to break it out. This guy is a pain. So I'm going to use an elephant. Does anyone know what the name is for the sound an elephant makes? That little it makes. So here I just swing a bunch of cards at it. Which is pretty much what you do in any of these levels. Like, I'm really talking about something that we don't do in this game. I'm actually doing pretty well. This guy usually kicks my ass. I got a status ailment out of confusion on him, so that must be... or confusion or curse. And then I hit him with some Banshees. Nice shot. Shot, Banshees. And remember, Banshee's damage adds directly to my experience points. I assume of my cards in my deck. And again, I don't know if that's like a direct thing, or it's like the stones that pop out. And I never realized this. There's a card under that. I have never realized that, but there was an Ice Golem card underneath the Ice Golem. I never realized that. I guess it just blended in so well with the background, I've never actually noticed it. This might be the first time ever, and you're seeing it on screen, that I ever got 5 stars on this level. Oh, I gave it away. But I get 5 stars on this level. But I'd never realized that card before. And now I have an Ice Golem card. Crystal Rose is going to be a pain. There! So I just zap it with a Banshee. Distance attacks are very useful sometimes. Sometimes close range attacks are useful. Alright, let's keep heading on. Remember, we're looking for 2 other things. We need bark and... we already got the fruit. We need the Mantrap leaf. I'm going to pass up that deck point for now. Actually, heading to the lower right part of the screen. Actually, I could leave the level if I wanted, but I don't want to. Find a Sand Beetle card. Awesome. And an elephant? Was that another elephant? Possibly. Let's keep going. Oh, and in here we get another fight. Crystal Rose on a Land Shark. So I'll send out my Land Shark. I attack this Crystal Rose with a Dragonoid just to take it out. Ah! Hit it with my ghoul. My ghoul! Oh, no, that was my I'm sorry, that was my Basilisk, I think. Or my Venom Lizard. Here's another tree. So it's time for boss time against the Sasquatch. Getting a quick strike there. I'll send out my Mantrap and my Land Shark. Which begs the question, couldn't we just take the lead from a Mantrap that was summoned? Never mind. Try to hit this thing with my Crystal Roses, which are quick. I finally just decided to bring out my Juggernaut. Juggernaut! Not to be confused with the X-Men character. I was a fan of the X-Men 90s cartoon. Is there anyone out there who has watched like the new X-Men movies? Because I've never actually watched any of them from start to finish. And I realize here I think my audio is kind of like going out here, so it's going to be a sec. There we go. Right there. And I stopped my recording and restarted it just so the audio could fix itself. Find another red fairy, but I realized I forgot to hit up the tree for the item I needed, so I'll have to go back to that tree afterwards, and it doesn't occur to me until later. Let's open up this chest and find a fairy card. Nice. And in this chest we find a Land Shark. Sweet. Let's grab this red fairy who's just sitting here. He said only a Runestone Master can use monsters, and the Black Fog has been created by the... So all those monsters from the Black Fog are coming from the Enchanter. Oh, we'll probably have to deal with this guy at some point. And you saw it there very briefly as I'm going through the menus, but it shows the Fruit of the Mandragora that I picked up from the other tree. And here's the Ice Golem card, which heavily damages all fire monsters on the battlefield using water energy as a summon monster. Not useful here at all, because there are no fire monsters that I will fight. Okay, Slippery Path Beyond. I think it just means the slope, but you have to push against this slope. So be careful. Here's a red fairy. Oh, one of those guys trying to find all the runestones. And they're all working for someone called the Enchanter. If you haven't guessed already, the Enchanter is the bad guy. Let's open this chest. And inside we find a giant crab and a fight. Oh boy. Oh. Oh, I got raped. No. I'll have to send out my hobgoblins. Go, hobgoblins! They're not particularly strong, but at least they can give me some offense. I missed him. The only thing I don't like about the hobgoblin, elephant, he's a very slow attacker. Usually better against monsters or enemies who will stay still. Because as we all know, I'm going to be fighting walls. Oh god, walls in Magic the Gathering. I remember I used to love walls. I sucked at playing Magic the Gathering, but it's one of those games you just love to play, regardless how you do at it. And here we find a Carbuncle card. And next we find another giant crab. Yeah, I played Magic the Gathering more for the fun of it, although I was at one of those places, I had a group of friends, a group of people I played against who, they didn't like the fact that I could ever beat them, like they would quit the match, like if I was going to win. I was like, that's just fucking lame. Okay, play the match. Anyone out there, play the match through. Okay, even if you think this kid is the worst player in the world, let him win. Okay, if he's legitimately beaten you through luck or sheer chance, you know what, he's beaten you. That's the luck of the game, that's just how it is. Don't stand there and say, I don't want to admit that I lost this kid. You know what? It happens. It's okay. I've lost to a 9-year-old at Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm nearly... I was like 26. It happens. It's not shameful. It just happens. And the kid was a good player. Okay, what are you going to do against, Envoy of the End? What are you going to do against something like that? It's just how it is. And I actually started another battle here because I wanted to get into that tree, and there actually is nothing there, but I realized we need to get the last ingredient. And this is where I realized I forgot to get the other ingredient. Time for boss time against another Sasquatch. Send out my land sharks to do some damage, even though one is incredibly weak. But they can at least stir up some trouble on the battlefield. Grab some special gems. It's time for bubble attack! Bubbles! Fucking bubbles! Oh. Guys, and I try to use my Flying Ray here. Missed him. But I can use my Sand Crab. Yeah. And earth attacks are strong against water monsters. Yeah. And Landshark got good experience from that. So we'll grab the ingredient from this tree. The Mantrap leaf, which looks nothing like a Mantrap, but now I'm like, oh, I gotta go back to the other tree to get the last ingredient, because that's the only way to end the level officially. So let's run back to the other tree, and I don't get any more encounters at this point. This is a pretty... I love the level music here. It is actually really pretty. So let's grab the bark we need. We got it! The bark of the Trent. And we found all the herbs, and we got 5 stars. Pick 3 cards. Come on, first ones. Give me something good. What? I cannot draw the boss monster. Ugh. Elephants. Ah. Oh, well. Next time on Let's Play Lost Kingdoms, we might do more side questing. Might head on with the main plot. Who knows? Take care and bye-bye for now, everybody.